Morning. It's time again for Coffee and Baseball. This is Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we're here to get our 1921 Yankees replay back on the table, featuring the excellent cards and dice baseball game Payoff Pitch, which can be purchased at sidelinestrategy.com. And Joe Bryan does a great job with this game, great customer service, and very good card components. In fact, probably the best card stock in the business. And the Yankees enter this game in real life. This is the sixth time they've actually played Washington in this early season. And this will also be the sixth time that Carl Mays has started for the Yankees, even though they've only played 14 games prior to this. And the big reason there is there were a lot of rainouts early in this season, so they would come back to Mays. In fact, this particular game is coming after their last victory over Boston, a 3-day layoff. So Mays is rested and ready to go. The Yankees won this game 9-2 in real life, and that put their record at 8-7. They're doing a little bit better than that in the replay. Currently in the replay, the Yankees have a record of 11-3, so off to a much better start. And our friend Matt has joined us just in time for this. Matt, our seventh inning fun fact today will be about the Yankees leadoff hitter Juggernaught, and there will even be a reintroduction of the gruesome theme at the end of the fun fact for you, Matt. So you have that to look forward to in the seventh inning stretch. Let's get to our lineups and get the game underway for the Yankees. As mentioned, Juggernaught leads off in center. Roger Peckinpah at short, Babe Ruth in left, Wally Pipp at first, Bob Musial in right, Home Run Baker at third, Aaron Ward at second, Fred Hoffman spells Wally Shang behind the dish, and as mentioned, Carl Mays back on the hill for the Yanks. For the hometown Senators, it'll be Joe Judge at first, Clyde Milan in right, Sam Rice in center, Frank Brower in Clyde Milan in left, Frank Brower in right, Bucky Harris at second, Howie Shanks at third, Frank O'Rourke at short, Patsy Garrity catching, and Eric Erickson is on the hill for the Sens. And we are ready to go. As Matt gets in a dig at my beloved Tottenham Hotspur, who are off to a terrible start in their Dice United 2019-2020 replay. 1 win against 1 draw and 2 defeats. And yesterday they drew with Newcastle and suffered a loss to Arsenal. So we'll hope to get that ship righted in the future weeks. But for now, it's time for the Yankees, who are giving me joy because at least they're winning. Here we go. And Erickson, it's going to be a wheelhouse result to Juggernaught right off the bat. And against the right-handed pitcher, Roth lines that deep into left field, and it's going to wrap around the foul pole, a leadoff home run. And that will actually be something we talk about in Roth's fun fact. But the Yankees sprinting out of the gate, a leadoff shot by Roth, and it's 1-0. That brings up Roger Peckinpah. And Peckinpah is going to get a ballpark result in Griffith Stadium for right-handed batters. 64, it's going to be in play. 60 or 36 would be wheelhouse result. And that's going to be a line drive to shortstop, and snagged is by O'Rourke, and 1 down. So Erickson has been hit hard by both batters thus far, and not a good sign when number 3 is the Bambino. Here we go, and that's going to be another ballpark result. Luckily for Roth, it's not wheelhouse, or we'd probably be looking at run number 2. As it is, Ruth, he's going to line that into right field, and the Yankees have a 1-out single. So offense has been a plenty in this replay, and it's starting that way again in this game, as it's going to be a patient result to Wally Pipp, and that's going to be a fly ball into center field, going back near the track to pull that into Sam Rice. Ruth, I should say, retreats to first. And 2 down for Bob Musial, who had been in a slump. He broke out with a huge 4-hit game against the Red Sox in our last game. It's going to be a tough result to Musial, and against the right-hander, it's going to be a strikeout, and just tips that, hung on to by the catcher Gary. And that has been a downfall of Musial's. He leads the team in strikeouts, actually, more than Babe Ruth. So first inning is over. The Yankees plate a run on the leadoff home run by Brago Roth. We head to the bottom of the first, 1-0 New York up. And starting it off for the Sens will be first baseman Joe Judge. And Carl Mays, he's had a rough couple of outings. The last 2 times out started very strong. This is going to be a ground ball down to second base. Aaron Ward takes care of that, flips it to Pip, 1 down. Next up, Clyde Milan, the speedy outfielder in the twilight of his career. That's going to be a ballpark result for Milan, and 44 for a left-handed batter. That's going to be wheelhouse. Milan, however, not an extremely powerful hitter. Let's see if he can get a hold of one, and puts it into play. It's going to be a fly ball into deep center field, going back, but plenty of room to pull that in is Roth. So 2 quick outs for Mays to start this game for the Yanks. And that brings up the left fielder, Sam Rice. Or center fielder, Sam Rice, I should say. 7, that'll be an in-play result to Rice. And 34 against the right-handed pitcher. He's going to nub that off the end of the bat and opposite field single. So Washington hoping to start a little 2-out rally here in the first. And whoops. Slight faux pas in the batting order. It is going to be, oh, I was right. Sorry. Jeez, oh, Frank Brower. Always difficulty with these early morning games. We're going to have a defensive check there. It's going to be an error check on the shortstop. 98, easily, though, making the play is Peckinpah, and that's going to retire the side, so the Sens get a hit. They leave 1 as we head to the top of the second inning. 1-0, New York on top. And next up will be Home Run Baker. And Home Run Baker lived up to his nickname in yesterday's game against the last game against the Red Sox, going deep. He's going to get a ballpark result here. That'll be in play. And Baker leads off the inning with a hard single between first and second, and the Yankees, once again, the hot bats, they're hitting over 290 as a team so far in this replay. And once we get to 20 games in, I'll do a complete statistical recap as Aaron Ward steps up. And Ward in play, ground ball down to third base and a roll of 9. That's going to be above both double play ratings. So Baker hits to second base and charging hard. Howie Shanks his only plays to first. Ward's retired. Baker on second, 1 down for Fred Hoffman. Hoffman in spelling Wally Shang behind the dish today for the Yankees. And it's going to be a tough result, and swing and a miss. Hoffman, a big swing and big air as that breezes by him. Second strikeout for Erickson. That brings up the pitcher, Carl Mays. And Mays, a good hitting pitcher. He hit over 340 in 1921. And Mays gets the in-play result. And again, 41 on in-play is better than the majority of batters. That's going to be a single. Let's see if we can get a run in from third. Long single into the gap, and runner on second only advances 1 base. And, of course, 2 outs, though. House rule. Baker's going to come in and scores. He'd be running on the crack of the bat. So Mays has an RBI. And the Yankees take a 2-0 lead back to the top of the order for Roth, who led the game off with a home run. And patient result for Brago. He's going to draw the walk. So 4 wide ones from Erickson, and the Yankees threatening to break this open early. Roger Peckinpah will be the batter, first and second, 2 down. And we're going to have another defensive check, and this probably will not go well. Error check on the third baseman. And at third base for the Sens is Howie Shanks, and Howie Shanks has an error rating of 4. And that will indeed be an error. A 1 base variety. So the sacks are going to be loaded. First error of the ball game. And not the guy you want coming up with the bases loaded. Bambino singled his first time up. Can he go deep? Here comes the pitch. 9. And that's going to be an in-play result. And Erickson breathed a sigh of relief as Ruth pounds that into the ground to third base. And this time, Shanks is going to be sure-handed. Fields it, whips it across. Side is retired. So the Yankees add another run on a couple of hits. And they leave the bases loaded as we head to the bottom of the second inning. It's 2-0 New York up on Washington. It'll be Bucky Harris, Howie Shanks, and Frank O'Rourke. And defensive check for Mays. It's going to be an error check on the Yankees' third baseman, which is home run Baker. And Baker is a 4. So 46, he's going to make that play easily. Fires to Pip, 1 down. Howie Shanks now the batter for the Senators. And here comes a pitch for Mays. That's going to be tough. And Shanks way out in front of the curveball. Strike 3 and pounds the bat into the dirt. Frustrating day so far for Howie in the field and at the plate. 2 down for Frank O'Rourke. And the Senator shortstop waits for the pitch. It's going to be patient, and O'Rourke's going to draw the base on balls. So first walk surrendered by Mays, and 1921, a very high number of walks. As Patsy Garrity steps up. And Garrity is going to get an in-play result, and he's going to keep it alive. That's going to be a sharp line drive, drops in front of the outfielder, and runner on first. Since it is hit to left, we will not house rule that. And he'll have the opportunity to advance, decides not to. Coach's choice. So, yeah, the way I play that, 2 outs, center or right, always the extra base. On a single and left, it's runner's choice. Doubles, always the extra base from first, no matter what field it goes to. So Erickson now set to hit, and the Senators pitcher is going to get a patient result as well. And 61, that's going to be a single. So Carl Mays falling apart with 2 outs. That's going to be a soft blooper into left field, and all runners are going to advance 2 bases. So Washington on the board is coming around to score is O'Rourke, and an RBI single for the pitcher. It is now 2-1 as we go back to the top of the order. Mays, following a familiar pattern, his last 2 starts in this replay, 42 to Joe Judge, and he's going to draw a walk, and now the Senators have the bases loaded. So both teams' pitchers struggling early in this one. Mays in a jam. Clyde Milan the batter. Here comes a pitch, and 6. That's going to be tough, and it's going to save Mays as strike 3 with a roll of 6. Milan does not strike out, but Mays, with the heavily doctored ball, gets the strikeout there, his second of the inning, but the Senators claw back a run on 2 hits and a couple of walks as we head to the third inning, 2-1, New York leading. And it's going to be Wally Pipp, Bob Musial, and home run Baker for the Yanks. And we're going to get a ballpark check for Pipp. That's going to be wheelhouse. And Wally against the right-hander, he's got a little bit of pop and takes a big swing. That's going to be a single, driven hard right into center field. So Pipp leadoff single here in the third. And once again, the Yankees wheelhouse result to Musial, and that ball is gone. No doubter. Over the left field bleachers, and New York extends their lead to 4-1. Bob Musial rocketed that into the stands. A 2-run shot. Coming around to score is Pipp, and the Yankees go up 2-0, or 4-1, sorry. And I meant to say second home run Erickson has allowed, and Washington's bullpen starts to stir a little bit as Frank home run Baker steps up. And Baker's going to get a tough result, and 24 just misses getting that into the outfield. Instead, it'll be a pop fly, and second baseman Bucky Harris, nice snow cone catch of that. And 1 down. So Erickson looks to regain composure. It's been taken deep twice by the Bombers already. And here comes the pitch. That'll be an in-play result. And Aaron Ward, ground ball down to second base. And Bucky Harris makes the easy play. Short throw to first. Judge gloves that. 2 down. Backup catcher Fred Hoffman, the batter. And Hoffman's going to get an in-play result. That'll be a line drive. Hit hard, but right at shortstop. And O'Rourke goes up to snag that. So after the home run, Erickson rebounds and sets the Yankees down 1-2-3. But the damage is done. We head to the bottom of the third. It is 4-1. The Yankees in the lead. Our good buddy Ken has joined us. Welcome, my friend. Hope you're doing well today. As well as my Yankees. How about that as they lead 4-1 and Frank Rice the batter. And we're going to get a defensive check and good roll on the 2D10s. That'll be a range check in center field. And in center field, Juggernaught. Well, I take that back. He has a range of F, but still good enough to get there. The slow-footed Roth runs that down. So 1 down to start the third, and Frank Brower, the batter. Brower's first time up, grounded out to short. And that's going to be an in-play result for Mays, and against the right-hander, that's going to be a single into left field. So Mays, luckily, has that powerful offense behind him because his last 2 starts before and today, he has struggled a little bit on the mound. As we're going to get a patient result, and that will undoubtedly, that's going to be a double, actually, as Harris ropes that into the gap, and opposite field shot. All runners are going to score, and it is now 4-2. So Mays, no lead is comfortable the last few starts for him as the Senators start to claw back. Howie Shanks, the batter, runner on second base. And that's going to be a tough result to Shanks. And 60, that's going to be a single. Or I'm sorry, tough, never mind. 60 is going to be an out. That'll be a fly ball into shallow left field. Ruth comes in to take that. I was looking in the patient column. Frank O'Rourke up, 2 down. Runner on second base, 1 run in the inning, and we're going to have another ballpark check, and that's going to be right-handed batter. That'll be an in-play result. And O'Rourke grounds that into the ground to first base. Pip's going to glove that, take it to the base himself. And the Yankees are out of the inning, but the Senators draw back another run. It's 4-2 as we head to the fourth. And for the Yanks, it's going to be the pitcher, Carl Mays, then back to the top of the order. 6, that's going to be a patient result, and Mays is going to draw the base on balls to start the fourth inning. And down in the Senators' bullpen, Harry Courtney is now warming up furiously, and if the Yankees plate another run, that's going to be it for Erickson. As we get back to the top of the order, Juggernaught, and again, Roth will be the subject of our 7th inning fun fact. We'll learn a little bit about this generally unknown player, as that'll be a patient result, and Roth, not patient enough. That's a fly ball into left field. Coming in to take that is Milan, 1 down, and back to first goes Mays. And the shortstop, Roger Peckinpah, he has reached on an error, lined out too short, hit the ball very hard that time up. A patient result to Peckinpah, and that's going to be a base on balls. So as stated, walks are abundant in 1921, especially in this replay, as that brings up Ruth. Again, with the runners on base, the Bambino is 1 for 2, singled in the first. And that'll be an in-play result to Ruth, and he takes a big hack but grounds that into the ground. Shortstop picks that up, and double play ratings above both. So as O'Rourke makes the play, going to second is Peckinpah and third is Mays. Ruth is retired 6-3, 2 down, 2 runners in scoring position for Wally Pipp. And the Yankees first baseman looking to bust this open, and Pipp, that's going to be a fly ball into center field. Routine play out there for Sam Rice. And that's going to retire the side. So the Yankees are kept off the board. They do strand 2 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. 4-2, New York up. And for the Sens, it's going to be Garrity, the pitcher spot, and top of the order Judge. And I think we will probably leave Erickson in, try and squeeze another inning or 2 out of him. This will be a patient result for Mays, and 78 will be a fly ball into shallow center field. Easy play out there for Roth, who barely has to move. It's 1 down for Erickson. And another patient result, and 61. That's going to be a single by the pitcher. So Erickson is 2 for 2 today, and keeping him in the lineup for his bat at this point, at least, because his mound work has been shaky. But top of the order, Joe Judge. And Judge is 0 for 1, walking a ground out. And that's going to be a tough result. And Joe Judge drives that into left field near the foul line. Ruth on the run, pulls it in. Going back to first base is Erickson. 2 outs, runner on for Clyde Milan. Milan today is 0 for 2, flown out and struck out. And that's going to be an in-play result. And Milan's going to get a hold of that. That's going to be roped. A deep drive off the left field wall. The runners advance 2 bases, and with 2 outs, coming in to score will be Erickson. So he takes the extra base as he was running, and it's now 4-3. So Washington climbing back into this. And this is going to be, looks like a offensive slugfest going down to the wire. Patient result, and Sam Rice. It's going to be a ground ball to second base. Aaron Ward makes a play, ranging to his left. Flips it to Pip, and side is retired, but the Senators are going to claw back yet another run. And that makes it 4-3 as we head to the 5th. And I need to do some quick bookkeeping here. All right, for the Yankees, it is going to be Bob Musial, and Musial struck a home run his last time up. Home run Baker and Aaron Ward. Here we go. Top of the 5th inning, approaching the halfway point of the game, and Erickson's going to get a tough result to Musial. And Musial, terrible against right-handed pitchers. A big swing looking for home run number 2. Instead, he gets hung with strikeout number 2 as home run Baker steps up. Baker today, 1 for 2. Here comes a pitch, and that'll be a ballpark check, an in-play result. Baker against the right-handed pitcher, and it'll be a fly ball into left field, and ranging into his right is Milan. Calls off the center fielder Rice, pulls it in, 2 down. And Aaron Ward, the batter. Ward is 0 for 2 today, couple of ground outs. And he's going to get a fly ball this time into center field, and a high towering shot, but Sam Rice parks under that, and 3 up, 3 down go the Yanks. So maybe Erickson has finally hit his groove as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees clinging to a 4-3 lead. It's going to be Brower, Harris, and Shanks. Here comes a pitch by Mays. That's going to be an in-play result. Fly ball into left field, and Babe Ruth has a beat on that, pulls it in, 1 down. Bucky Harris, the talented second baseman, steps up. And again, you see some of the names on the Senators team. Judge, Rice, Harris. They're starting to get that nucleus in place for their 2 World Series runs in 24 and 25. As we get a patient result here, and 58. That is going to be a single for Bucky Harris. So great patient column, and that's one thing. 21, the patient columns on a lot of these hitters are very good. So usually bad news when you roll there is Howie Shanks comes up, runner on first base, and we're going to get an in-play result from Shanks. Fly ball to left field. Ruth, his second put out of the inning. 2 down as Harris goes halfway and jogs back to first. Frank O'Rourke will be the 2-out batter, trying to get a little more magic going for the Sens. And he is going to get it done, a 2-out single. And again, Mays, trouble with 2 outs. That's going to be a line drive into center field. And we're going to go the extra base since there's 2 outs. So going to third is Harris. And that's going to bring up Patsy Garrity. And Garrity flew out to center in the last inning. Here comes a pitch by Mays, and 7. That's going to be an in-play result. And Frank Mays, or Carl Mays, has allowed the Senators to come all the way back. That's going to be a hard grounder into left field. And runners advance 2. It is now 4-4. So my early joy in this one is kind of dissipating. As the pitcher spot comes up, and Erickson, he singled his last time up and scored. Here comes a pitch. Mays looking to get out of this inning, and finally a fly ball into shallow center field. Roth camps out under that, pulls it in, and side is retired. But the Senators, once again, 3 hits in a run this time as we head to the 6th. We're all tied up at 4. And Carl Mays and Eric Erickson both struggling on the hill for their respective teams. Leading off will be Fred Hoffman for the Yankees, who now find themselves tied. And he's going to get a ballpark result. 0-9 will be Wheelhouse. Hoffman, though, actually against right-handers. Hoffman's got a shot, takes a rip, and just misses a home run. Instead, that's going to hit off the top of the wall. Hoffman around second base, coming into third. Here comes the throw, the slide. He's safe with a leadoff triple to start the 6th inning. And Carl Mays is a good hitting pitcher, so they're going to leave him in. In modern times, he probably would have been yanked last inning. Here comes a pitch, and patient result. Mays draws a base on ball. His 2nd of the game. He is 1 for 1 with 2 walks, so runners at the corners. And Harry Courtney back up and throwing furiously in the Senators' bullpen. Erickson has to face 2 batters before he can come in. House rule, tough, and 58 to Brago Roth, and that's going to be a big strikeout as Roth tried to replicate his 1st inning shot. Goes down swinging for Roger Peckinpah now. Peckinpah has walked, reached on an error. He is 0 for 2 officially. Here comes a pitch, and we're going to get a defensive check. And that's going to be an error check on the pitcher himself. And he is a 4. So 4 roll of 23. That is going to be an error, and that will be a 1-base error on the pitcher. And an unearned run has come in and cost the Senators. And actually no one to blame there but himself, as Peckinpah is on first. Mays is on second base, and Hoffman crosses a plate. 5-4, Yankees take the lead. And this will likely, potentially be the last batter. 1 down. Here comes a pitch to Ruth, and that's going to be a patient result. And Ruth is going to draw the easy walk, as Erickson wants no part of him with runners on. And the Senators are going to make a pitching change now. So Erickson, he's only going to last 5 1/3. Seven hits. He's given up 5 runs, 4 of them earned to this point. And wildness was a big adversary for him, as he's walked 4, 5, walks 5, and struck out 3, gives up 2 long balls. And our new pitcher is going to be the left-hander Harry Courtney. As Erickson, much like in real life, a game that the Yankees won 9-2, is shelled here in this one. All right, Courtney has his warm-up tosses. And Wally Pipp will be the batter. Pipp steps up with the bases loaded, and he can really blow this one open with a base hit. Only 1 down, infield at double play depth. And we're going to get a ballpark check, and against the left-hander, it's going to be Wheelhouse, Wally Pipp. Luckily, against left-handed pitching, Pipp does not hit home runs. 69, and that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop, and that will indeed be a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. So Courtney comes in and deuces the ground out and gets the Senators out of a potential disaster. But the Yankees do get a run on a hit, and we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 5-4, New York up. And now Mays will be tasked with holding that tenuous lead. And it's going to be top of the order, Judge, Milan, and Rice for the Senators. And that's going to be an in-play result. Fly ball into left field. Ruth has been a busy man in the outfield today. He's going to pull that one in. So one down to start the sixth. Clyde Milan, the batter. Milan, he is 1 for 3 today, has doubled and driven in a run. It's going to be an in-play result, and Milan's going to drive that right back through the box, a one-out single. So once again, Mays has had 0 3-up, 3-down innings in this one. And wheelhouse, a big cut by Sam Rice, and that's going to be driven. Just got over the top of that. That's going to fall. Could have been a double, but it's cut off in the gap. And runner advancement. It's a long single indeed, but the runner only advances 1 station. So going into second, stopping there is Milan, and the Senators are now threatening once again. And in the Yankees bullpen, the youngster Waite Hoyt has started to warm up as Mays, 3rd start in a row, he's not had his best stuff. And again, Mays has to face 2 more batters at least. Only 1 down. Here comes a pitch, and that's going to be a tough result. And 75 will be a fly ball into center field. The runners will have to hold, so 2 down. A big out there for Mays is Roth. Not deep enough to get the runner to third. Bucky Harris, the batter. Let's see if Mays can extricate himself from this situation. And patient, not going to happen. And Harris gets a hold of that. That's driven down into the corner in right field, around second to third. Here comes the throw. Harris is safe. 2-run score, and the Senators have fought back to take the lead on a 2-run triple by Bucky Harris with 2 outs. And that is going to be it for Carl Mays. So once again, Mays, a horrible outing. And also warming up out in the pen is Bob Shockey, and it's going to be Shockey that comes in instead of Hoyt. So an absolutely horrendous outing. Mays, he's going to last 5 2/3, and he's on track to be tagged with a loss now. And gave up 13 hits in 5 2/3 innings. Wow. And currently he is on the hook for 6 runs with a 7th at third. He struck out 2, walked 2. Two walks and 2 strikeouts for Mays today. The only thing he didn't do was give up a home run. And Shockey, again, the new pitcher. So he'll try to keep this close so the Yankees have a chance to come back now as they trail for the first time in the ballgame. In another offensive shootout here in 1921. And up for the Senators is going to be Howie Shanks with a runner on third, looking to extend the lead even more. Here comes a pitch. Tough and swing and a miss. Big strikeout by Shockey. And that is going to retire the side mercifully. But again, the Senators poke across 2 runs on 3 hits. And we head to the 7th inning. It is Washington 6, New York 5. And for the Yankees, it's going to be Musial, Baker, and Ward. IDJ, what's up, buddy? Old-time baseball woke me up. This is not dead ball. 1921 is an offensive year, my friend. We've got to get you deprogrammed, bro. All right, here we go. Courtney looking to hold on to the lead now. He stands to win this game since the Senators have come back. And to Musial, that's going to be a patient result, 74. And that'll be a fly ball into center field. Musial swung at a potential ball 4 there, and that ball's put away by Sam Rice. 1 down for home run Baker. The lefty steps up, lefty-lefty matchup. And 7, yet another patient result, and against the left-hander. 34, that's going to be a single for Baker. So the Yankees not ready to give it up yet as Aaron Ward steps up, runner on first. And ballpark check 68, and 68 for a right-handed batter is going to be in play. And Ward, it's going to be an opposite field line drive into right, and runner on first can advance. Let's see, in right field, Baker is a 6, and in right field for the Senators, with an arm of 4, we are not going to try that. So we're going to play station to station. Fred Hoffman, the batter and pitcher spot, is on deck. So Hoffman's got to get something done. We don't want to do another pitching change already. 82, and not going to happen. That's going to be a ground ball down to short. That'll move the runners up, though. What a dilemma. Shockey is pitched to 1 batter, and we do not want to utilize any more relievers yet. Actually, against left-handers, he did hit .313, so Shockey's going to swing away. 2 down, 2 on. Here comes a pitch. And 5, that'll be a tough result. And 89 for Shockey, just misses that. That's going to be a ground ball to short, and a nice play in the hole there by O'Rourke. So that's going to retire the side. The Yankees can potentially question the manager there, but it almost paid off. But they're stymied with 2 left on as we head to the 7th inning stretch, and the Senators clinging to a 6-5 lead. And as promised, we're going to do our fun fact about Brago Roth, and that is the Yankee center fielder. So Roth, his real name is Bobby Roth, and he was called Brago because of his propensity to self-promote himself. He was often, despite never being a star player, he was a player that a lot of teams wanted. He played for 6 teams in his major league career. Actually led the league in home runs in 1915 with a total of 7, and in one season stole home 6 times. So he was a player with a lot of tools. But as one scribe was quoted during his time, he also had, and I quote, the unhappy faculty of gaining enemies, apparently with cold deliberation. In other words, Roth was not a very admired or respected teammate, and a lot of that was due to his braggadocious ways, hence the nickname, and the fact that he just had a dour personality by all accounts in general. Miller Huggins had actually been trying to get him on the Yankees for several seasons and acquired him from the Red Sox in 1921, prior to 1921, for Duffy Lewis and George Mogridge. And Lewis, of course, was nearing the end of his career, but Mogridge would go on to play a key role in the Senators and their pennant run in 24 and 25. And beyond that, once he joined the team, his older brother Frank was a pitching coach for the Yankees, and he had a decent 1921, but was prone to make errors. And after 43, he only appeared in 43 games, and Huggins ended up benching him due to his poor defensive play. He ended up hitting .283 and had 29 runs scored and 10 RBIs, many of them as a pinch runner, however. So after the season, he basically found himself at 29 years old without a home. He played some semi-pro ball and played actually with the Kansas City Blues in 1923, a minor league team that had a couple of former major leaguers on there, including Beals Becker, who was a key part of that 1914 Miracle Brave squad. And after spending several years kicking around the minors in semi-pro, he ended up with the Hollywood Stars in the PCL. But at that point, at 35 years old and his legs giving out, he really was not going to contribute much. He had no speed, and his power had abandoned him as well. He hit just 1 home run and swiped only a single base. and returned to Wisconsin and was done with baseball. And his story comes to an end, sadly, at a young age. In 1936, at the age of 44, Roth was traveling with a friend in his car when it was struck by an oncoming vehicle. Roth's friend was killed instantly, and Roth died later that same day in a Chicago hospital from severe head injuries, and again at the age of 44. And the irony to his demise, for someone who spent so much of his brief career promoting himself in the newspapers and to the press, the vehicle that struck him was actually a news truck. So there you go. There's our morbid and semi-fun fact about Braggo Roth as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And Roth will lead off the 8th for the Yankees on the tails of that. But first, it's Shockey facing O'Rourke, Garrity, and the pitcher spot. So here we go. And 7, that's going to be a tough result to O'Rourke. And 74, just foul tips that and hung on to by Hoffman. So strike 3. O'Rourke flirted, hit a foul ball before that was just foul. So flirting with a hit before striking out. And another tough result to Patsy Garrity. And 36, swing and a miss. So Shockey has come out of the bullpen firing BBs for the Yankees, has struck out all 3 batters he's faced. And that brings up the pitcher, Harry Courtney. And Harry Courtney is going to get a ballpark result, and it's going to be a left-handed batter will be a wheelhouse result. So Courtney, 57, takes a big hack, but that's going to be a ground ball down to third. So at least he puts the ball in play, 3 up, 3 down, and that is our first 3 up, 3 down inning of the game by Yankees pitching. As we head to the top of the 8th, it is still 6-5, Washington in the lead. And Matt played my first scenario. I'm sure it made lots of mistakes, but starting to get it. Okay, so wargaming stuff. I still got to get a war game on the channel. God, I forget the name. It's a sub game. Silent Hunters, maybe. Anyway, yeah, that's a game that I've got on my wish list, and I actually was almost close to ordering it, but I will get that in the future. And maybe throw that on the channel for a little bit of a difference here. As we head to the top of the 8th, Roth is going to get a ballpark result, and that's going to be in play. And 38 in play, and that is going to be a pop fly into shallow left field. Going back to pull that in is the third baseman, Howie Shanks, 1 down. Hi, DJ. You got a pretty good mix of baseball and war games and stuff going on your channel now. So good to see you with that balance, my friend. As Roger Peckinpah looking to pull the Yankees, get a runner on at least, and a patient result. And that will indeed be a base runner for the Bambino as Peckinpah draws 4 wide ones. Babe Ruth up. He is 1 for 3 today, walking a single. We could use a clout right now. Here comes the pitch, and 5. That's going to be tough, and that's not what we needed. 67, though. Ruth is actually going to fight that off, drive it into the gap. That's going to be a double. And deep drive to the wall. All runners score, and the Yankees have come all the way back on a rope shot by the Bambino. Out of the tough column, no less, and it is now 6-6. Wally Pipp up, 1 down. Go-ahead run on second base. See if Pipp can come through with a little magic here. And 9, that is going to be a defensive check. And defensive check there will be an error check on the pitcher. And Courtney, I did not write down his error on the card, and that is going to be a 2. So 2, 67, and Courtney is going to boot that. That is going to be a 1-base error. So going to third is Ruth, and that's the 3rd error of the game for the Senators. And they would be leading still if not for defensive lapses. So Bob Musial, who has a home run in this game, also struck out twice, though. And 5, that's going to be a tough result, 94 against the lefty, and that's going to be a fly ball into left field. And Ruth That is not going to be deep enough to get him in. So the Yankees now, 2 down, go ahead run at third, home run Baker, chance to be the hero. And Courtney should have been out of this inning. Here comes a pitch. 7's going to be a patient result, and 82. That's going to get it done. Just missed a close to a hit by pitch. Instead, that'll be a fly ball into shallow center. And side is retired, but the Yankees get a hit and a run. Leave one. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. As Shockey has pitched good for the Yankees and now has a 6-6 tie to work with. And that's going to be an in-play result to start the inning. And Joe Judge is going to lead it off with a single for the Senators. First hit Shockey has surrendered. 14th of the game for the Senators, as Clyde Milan will be the batter. And Milan, he has a bunt rating of B, and he's going to try and lay one down going off the fast action cards. Here comes the pitch, and we'll see who it goes to. That is going to be hit to the third baseman, and B is going to get it done. So 5-4 on the put out there. Going to second base is Judge. So Milan, who started his career fully entrenched in the dead ball era, harkens back to that time, puts the runner along, scoring or a go-ahead run on second base, and a defensive check. See if the Yankees defense can hold up. Error check on the shortstop, and shortstop for the Yankees, Peckinpah, is a 3. So error check of 3 and a roll of 50. Peckinpah is going to boot that, and an infield error is going to be 2 bases, and that bunt pays off as the Senators unearned run to take the lead again, 7-6. And the wild throw going down to second base is Rice, and Miller Huggins is furious in the dugout. So unearned run for Shockey. And 7-6, Washington up. The Yankees cannot get out of their own way. Here comes the pitch, and that's going to be an in-play or patient result, And against the right-hander, that's going to be a base on ball. So runners on first and second now. Still only 1 out as Bucky Harris steps in. Harris today is looking for his 4th hit of the ball game, and that's going to be a patient result. He'll take a walk instead, though, and the bases are loaded for the Senators. So Shockey was strong coming into this inning, and the wheels are coming off for him as he is still furious about that error. Looking to get out of the inning, tough to Howie Shanks, 63 and 63, double play depth for the infield. That's going to be a fly ball into left, not deep enough to get the run home. So bases remain loaded. 2 down now, Frank O'Rourke the batter, and 6 will be a tough result, 58, and 58 is going to be a swing and a miss strikeout. So Shockey comes back, but too late as the Senators get a hit, walk, and an error to push home a run. We head to the top of the 9th. It is 7-6, Washington in the lead. A very offensive and defensively sloppy game. It's going to be Ward, Hoffman, and the pitcher spot, and Courtney. Courtney is actually going to get pulled as warming up between innings. The one and only big train, Walter Johnson, he's going to come on and try and nail down the save for his team. All right, so Courtney goes 2 2/3 innings, gives up 3 hits and a run, walks 1, and does not strike out anybody. So Walter Johnson is going to try and nail it down, and coming out to pinch hit, or getting ready to pinch hit in the pitcher spot, which will be due up third, is Elmer Miller for the Yankees. So the big train facing Aaron Ward. Here comes a pitch, and that's going to be a patient result, 75, and unfortunately that'll be a fly ball into center field as Ward went fishing there. An easy put out for Sam Rice in center, 1 down for Hoffman. And that's going to be a tough result. And the big train, 69, swing and a miss, blows the high heat by him. That sidearm delivery. Easy as pie throwing the ball. And Elmer Miller is going to try and keep it going for the Yankees here. 2 down. Johnson zoned in, gets a sign from his catcher, Garrity. Kicks, delivers, in play result, and that's going to be ball game. A fly ball into center field. Sam Rice pats his hand, says he has it, pulls it in with a two-handed grab. 3 up, 3 down for the Yankees. And the Senators have come back to win this one 7-6. Walter Johnson coming in to nail it down and get the save and relief for the Senators. So our final line score, the Yankees, 6 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. The Senators, 7 runs on 14 hits, and they survived 3 errors. The loser in this ball game is going to be Bob Shockey. The winner, Harry Courtney, and Johnson gets a save. Looking for our player of the game, has to come from the Senators. And we're going to go with Bucky Harris, the excellent Washington second baseman. He went 3 for 4 today, had 1 hit short of the cycle. He had a single, double, and a triple, scored a run, drove in 3, and also drew a base on balls. So there's our player of the game. And a tough loss for the Yankees. They got off to a great start, but Carl Mays, for the 3rd consecutive time, had a less than desirable outing and could not hold the lead the Yankees gave him early. So, hey, thanks to everyone for stopping by. Steeler Fan 1933 Matt, our good friend Kent at SDG Replays. Check out that great channel. He's got some payoff pitch going there as well. And IDJ, the one of the crossing barriers between genres of wargaming and baseball. And check out his great channel as well. He's got some war games up, play some Fall Classic. And you got actually, he went against his trends and recently got some Strat-O-Matic cards too, which shocked the community. But hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Hope you all have a great day. And if you don't mind, hit that like button on your way out. And until next time, we're going to get into a schedule of doing early morning telecast. I'll finalize it, but it'll probably be Fall Classic Baseball Monday and Thursday, Dice United Tuesday, Payoff Pitch Wednesday, and either Inside Pitch or Glory Days Boxing Friday. And if I don't do Glories but Days Boxing Friday, I'll do a fight on Saturday. So anyway, we're going to try and stay to a regular schedule early before work. So I hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Take care, everyone.